Hello, scrapbooking buddies. We're here for the Tuesday 10-minute page, and today we're going to be making this fun page for Halloween. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start by doing the top edge of our blue. I'm using blue shimmer paper today, and we're using the Starry border. So we're going to go ahead and punch that across the top. Okay. So we've got that. We can put this aside. And the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to use the new fairground punch. This is what we're going to be making our haunted house with. So let's push that over there, push this aside, and we're going to bring this in. We're going to line it up on the line right here, like we do all these large punches, and go ahead and start punching. Each time just bringing it over, lining it up, covering up that blue, and going all the way across. Okay. So we're done with that. We can set this aside. And we're going to go ahead and trim that off with the 12-inch trimmer. So we're going to trim it off at 1.5 inches. So we'll put it into the trimmer, and we're going to bring it over to 1.5, just the top of the Ferris wheels, and make sure that it's all lined up nice and straight, and trim that. Set that aside. We're going to go ahead and make our mats right now too. So we're going to pull out our arm, and we're going to bring this over to the 6-inch line, and we're going to do a straight cut on that. Set that aside. We don't need it. We're going to turn this sideways, and we're going to make us 3 mats. So we're going to, this is already 6 inches, and we're bringing it over to the 4 so that we have our mats all ready to go when we're done with our page. Okay, we're now going to do a little bit of green grass while we still got our trimmer out. And I'm going to switch blades on my trimmer. Right now I have the straight blade in, and I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to find something that's kind of wavy, kind of grassy looking. I'm going to use the Victorian, I think. So we're going to go ahead and flip that over, put that in, and we're going to give us about 1/2 inch, just to have a little bit of green grass at the bottom. So we're going to set this aside. We're going to need that in a few minutes, and we are going to go ahead and we're going to fussy cut just a little bit. Love these precision cut scissors. If you don't have these, you need to get some of these. It's really good for little tiny cuts. And what I'm doing is just cutting the Ferris wheel off. So I'm cutting it off of the top of the rooftop there. And then I'm cutting the flag off. I really don't want the flag on there either. So you're just going to bring it all the way over. Each time just trimming it off just a little bit. Trim off the flag. Trim off the Ferris wheel. And trim off the Ferris wheel there. Trim off the flag. Ferris wheel. Ferris wheel. Flag. It's going to kind of make it look more like houses that are all in a row. And Ferris wheel, and the last one is the flag. Okay, so now we're going to bring this over here. What you need to do next is you need to punch yourself some little ghosts, because we're going to have some ghosts. So we're using the ghost chain, and you're going to need the housing unit and the paper guide. So we're going to go ahead and put this in all the way over, flip it around, line the small and the big grooves up, and go ahead and punch. We actually don't need the whole thing punched, but if you wanted to do a double page spread, that would kind of be a good idea. So go ahead and punch the whole thing, okay? And we'll set this aside because now we're done with that. We are going to keep a few of these little scraps, and I'm going to show you why in just a minute, okay? So what we want to do is we're going to color in these houses so that it's going to look like this. So we need to put some white because we're putting it on blue. So I'm simply going to take my, we're not going to do this one because we're going to be putting a moon on that one in a minute. And I'll show you how to do that. So not the first haunted house, but all the rest of them. Put a little bit of repositionable, like where the windows are at, okay? So this is probably the most tedious thing we're going to do right now. We're just going to cut little tiny strips off that we had left over from our ghost to give us windows. And the reason we're doing that is we want some windows that we can color in to kind of look like the lights are on in the house, okay? So we're gonna cut some little strips off of this just to give us a few. And just like that. Get us a few little more, make sure we have enough. Okay, so now we're just gonna take these little strips and kind of place them over the windows so that you can't see. We don't want to see the white through. We just want to see a little bit of the white through, but not like peeking around it or anything. So this one needs a little more adhesive down here. Because once we're going to put some more adhesive on it in just a minute, before we stick it down. So that'll keep it nice and straight for us. Okay, so cover this one up. And as you can see, I'm just covering the windows on these. Okay. So go ahead and make sure you get all the windows covered. Because at the end, we're going to come back in with like a yellow fine tip pen and cover that up. I'm short one window, so I have to go back and cut one little piece from our scraps just for one more window. Okay. Okay, awesome. We got that all covered with our little tiny windows. Now we need a moon. So for the moon, we are going to need our cutting system, and we are going to use the largest circle. Okay, it's the largest circle in the cutting system, and we're going to use the inside with the red blade, okay, to make our giant harvest moon. So you just make sure you put both feet into the groove, spin it around, get yourself a nice little moon. Make sure that it cut all the way through. Okay. And that's all we need for that. So we are now ready to start putting our little house together. So what we're going to need now is we're going to need our base, which was this blue shimmer paper that's gorgeous. We are going to we're going to flip over and we're going to put some ghosts just sticking out the back. So all I did was just take the ghosts that we punched and just kind of, because some of them got different little faces on them. They're scared, they're smiling. And I just cut a few of them apart. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I got 3, 4. Okay. So you can use the other ghosts for the other page. And then now we're going to put a little more adhesive on these. Oops, my little extra piece came off. Okay, so we're putting a little more adhesive on those just so that we can stick our ghosts down. Okay, so, and now what we're going to do, so we need to do this one. So now we're going to have them kind of peeking out from behind. So we like got this guy smiling. Maybe we'll bring this one's like scared and he can come out over here. Or we got this one. And you wouldn't have to do every single one if you didn't want to. You could pick and choose which ones you want to do. Maybe have him down here a little bit more. And the last one we're not going to put on because we need to put our moon down. So now we're ready to actually stick it down. So go ahead and put your adhesive all the way back. And if you're working alongside of me, you're just going to want to make sure you can pause the video at any time if I'm going too fast. And we'll bring this down and we're going to put it toward the bottom because remember we cut that grass. Okay. So now we're going to bring our little harvest moon in, put some adhesive on that. We're going to tuck it behind this one, kind of like that. Okay. And we're going to bring our grass back over, put our grass down like this, along the edge of this. So it's kind of peeking up. Come in and we're going to put our last ghost in now that we've got this over here. So let's kind of like tuck him in over here. And then we need our yellow dot pen. And I'm just going to use the center real quick to color those in just like that. And then our mats that we cut earlier, we'll put a little bit of adhesive on that one, and let's put that over here. And then we're going to bring the last two in, kind of figure out where we want them. because I probably want them like this so we can get at least 3 pictures on our page. Put this down. That looks a little bit crooked. That's why I love using repositionable. Bring that in here. And we're done. There's our Tuesday 2-minute page with our little haunted houses using our fairground punch. And I hope you enjoyed it. Happy scrapbooking.